The F-150 Lightning. I'm looking to buy one. And one that's a little bigger than my Matchbox. I'm thinking of getting a full-sized one. And right now might be the best time due to both the employee pricing that was just announced on April 3rd and the Ford Power Promise, which is basically a free level 2 charger and installation for your garage. Let's talk more about it. So I've been wanting to get a Lightning since 2022. I even was looking at buying one before I even got my Model 3. Tough part was the chip shortage and everything like that. Prices were insane. A base model was going for like $80K. Either brand new or like, 3,000 miles. It was insane. Now that Lightning prices have come down and are very, very reasonable now, I think now is the time for me to get one. And I've been looking for the last couple months, and that accelerated after Power Promise came out and now the employee pricing. Now, it looks like the employee pricing varies per VIN. It also varies per area, I assume. I talked to a friend that works at a dealership down here in Florida, and he's going to give me some numbers on some Lightnings with the employee discount soon. So keep an eye out for that. I will keep updating you guys on my search and eventual buying process. I've been looking at both new and used Lightnings. My dream spec would be a Pro, their base model, which is now only for fleets, with the extended range battery pack and the 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power on board. That would be my dream spec. Very rare, and I don't think it exists in many used dealerships. Those are probably only given to business fleets, and maybe a few will make their way out to the used market someday. I'd love to find one, but it's a pretty low chance. I definitely probably won't find one quick enough. So I started looking at new more when the employee discount came out, because that actually stacks on top of Power Promise. For the 40Vs, you get both, and that is for the Mach-E and Lightning. So I've been looking at all different trims. I have 3 main needs per truck, or for my truck. Number 1, 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power on board. That is their high output outlets in the bed and in the frunk. And quick side note, I'm really surprised Rivian doesn't do that. They just have the regular regular outlet to charge your phone or light equipment and whatnot. They gotta be able to do the same 240 or 220 outputs that you can do on basically every other EV truck, I think, or at least every other major one. The Cybertruck can do it. The Lightning, which I'm looking for, can do it. I think the Silverado can, but don't quote me on that because I might not remember. I haven't looked in a while. But yeah, why can't Rivian do it? And the reason I want Pro Power on board, there's actually 2 reasons. One, I do plan to get a camper, and instead of looking for shore power at a campsite, I can charge or power my camper from the truck. And literally, I could probably go a week without even taking maybe half the battery. It probably lasts even longer, I'd guess, for an extended battery pack anyway. And so I also want to be able to level 2 charge EVs. If a friend of mine or a family member or anyone who might need help with their EV being stranded, I can give them a little bit of juice with my Pro Power and a mobile connector, and bam, they are on their way to the nearest supercharger or other DC station. You've seen that on Out of Spec a lot if you watch our other videos. Usually it's either the Cybertruck or other vehicles are powering and charging cars after range tests. Like we run them to 0, or below 0. Not just to the buffer, we take the buffer too. And then you can charge it with the truck and make it to the next DC charger. It's brilliant. So I want Pro Power for sure. There are 2 versions. I'm gonna get my trusty iPad here. For those curious, there are 2 versions of Pro Power on board technically. There is the 9.6 kilowatt one, which is the one I'm looking for. But there's also the, let's see, where'd it go? 2.4 kilowatt hour. Let's start. Whoops. 2.4 kilowatt Pro Power on board. It's basically just regular outlets, essentially. So keep that in mind. Although a truck might say it has Pro Power on board, make sure it has the right output you're looking for. And more often than not, you're probably looking for the 9.6 kilowatt output. Other than that, my other need number 2 out of 3 is sound system. You've probably seen my glowing review of the R1S sound system. I love the sound system. It sounds so good. It's like unbelievably good. And that is all sarcasm. It's actually one of the worst audio systems I've ever heard in a car. Not even mentioning for how expensive this car costs. So I need the best sound system in the Lightning because I need something that sounds good. And all of the levels sound pretty good. You know, the bass sound system is an okay sound system for most people. I'm an audio engineer, so I always look for the best, which is why I bought the premium audio upgrade on this, just for it to still sound like an HP laptop from Walmart. So hopefully they improve it. Anyway, not to do a second video like I did already on that. The Flash, Lariat, and Platinum trims come with B&O sound systems, while the XLT, which is the new base, the Pro is gone for like public customers. The XLT comes with the standard audio. I definitely want to get the B&O audio. Now, I could potentially upgrade the audio in a base one, because since it's essentially a regular F-150 with the battery and motors, putting it really simply, I can pretty much swap anything like I would for a regular F-150, and the aftermarket is loaded with parts for F-150s. So I could totally do my own speaker swap if I chose to. But I do kind of want to stay OEM, at least for the first year of ownership, so I'm looking at probably getting the B&O. So that means the minimum I'd have to get trim-wise is a Flash. A quick breakdown of the other trims besides. So XLT is a new base model, basically. The Flash is the Lariat with less fancy, you know, bells and whistles, but it comes with all the good functional bells and whistles. Then there's a Lariat, which is, you know, second to highest trim, pretty luxurious trim. I think it's the most popular probably. And then there's, you know, the top tier, the Platinum. It's just like regular F-150s. These are all, you know, well-known trims. The Flash is new, but the Flash is pretty much a mix between XLT and Lariat. It's like an XLT with Lariat functions, or a Lariat with XLT, you know, I don't want to say cheapness, but like, you know, I'd feel better throwing tools in the back of a Flash than I would a Lariat. So yeah, now need number 3. Number 3 is likely a higher battery pack, so the extended range. Now, if I were not towing, I could perfectly get by with a standard pack. The standard pack is 98 kilowatt hours, and even for road tripping, it's perfectly fine. There's enough chargers and it gets you where you need to go. Tough part is with towing, I want to tow a camper soon, like a small Airstream or similar sized like an Airstream base camp or something small, nothing too big. But either way, it'll harm the efficiency. We all know that for EVs. If I were to get a standard pack, I'd be cutting it pretty short, like stopping the charge every, who knows, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, it could be, who knows. On an extended pack, I could at least go for, ideally, hour and a half or something like that, on the highway with the trailer before needing the charge, which is a pretty reasonable stint. So I think I'm gonna have to go with extended, and that's the 131 kilowatt hour pack. So with those three needs in mind, Pro Power, B&O sound system, and most likely, I say most likely, I might go with standard, who knows, but most likely extended range pack. The only trim that has all three of those that's in my price range is the Flash. The Lariat, unless I can get like a crazy discount from Ford on a Lariat. I'd love a Lariat because I love the panoramic glass roof and stuff like that. But Flash is probably the max I'd go. And yeah, I'd probably go with the Flash to get all the mechanical features I'd want. Now, I would love an XLT for a couple reasons. Reason one being, I would probably unpopularly actually like the traditional screen. If you look at the interior for the XLT and fleet purchased Pro compared to the Flash, Lariat, and Platinum, the XLT and Pro have the traditional, horizontal screen that you see in the higher trim ICE vehicles. Maybe the ICE XL has the bigger screen, but I think it's a smaller one, or it used to be. It used to be you can only get that big screen on like a Lariat and higher, or an XLT and higher for the ICE one. And that was like the top screen. That's what came in ICE Platinums. Now, what was the highest screen is now the base model screen, essentially, for the XLT and Pro. The Flash, Lariat, and Platinum now have a huge vertical screen, pretty fancy, basically the same design as the Mach-E. Looks awesome. Now, I kind of want the smaller screen because, while it's smaller, it's definitely big enough. I prefer horizontal. During my different test drives, I've noticed that the traditional screen size is actually more responsive. Might be just an MCU thing, doing better with the traditional size, I don't know. And most importantly for me, because I'm weird, I want buttons. And you have way more buttons on the XLT than you do on trims with the vertical screen, because most of that stuff is on the screen with the vertical one. With the traditional screen, you have all the knobs and buttons I could dream of, and I love that. So like, if I could just get, I'd even go without the better sound system, because like I said, I can upgrade it. If I could just get an extended range pack on an XLT, it'd be golden. I actually like the new 2025 XLT wheels. Look like the previous Pro and XLT wheels, the 18 inches. And looks like it's the same rim, but painted black, and it goes hard. And I kind of like those more than the wheels that come on the Flash, like a lot. So that's another reason why I get the XLT. But unfortunately, the screen and the wheels are more of an aesthetic preference. And as much as I want those, they are a lesser priority than the extended range battery and the Pro Power and the speakers and that. So Flash will probably be what I go for. Now, as far as the new employee pricing, like I said, I think it varies, so they don't just like explicitly put the prices on there. It's at the dealer, so you have to go to your local dealer and see what the cost difference will be with employee pricing. Other things that aren't so sure, you have the $7,500 tax credit. I'm so confused on where that is right now. I haven't even looked yet. And then you have the Power Promise, which gets you the free level 2 charging, which will be great. I have a universal wall connector from Tesla I use right now to charge the Rivian and the Model 3. But I have an extra, I think right now, 50 amp outlet that's just not being used. So I might as well, it's a free charger, might as well get it installed and have two. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much my thought process currently on the Lightning, and I really want to take advantage of these discounts. I believe they are going until the end of June. So that's going off my working memory. Please check the website to verify. But yeah, it's a great time to get a Lightning. And if you're looking for a Mach-E, great time to get a Mach-E too. So I'll keep you guys posted on my shopping and hopefully purchasing process the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that, because Lightning content, they're just doing truck stuff in the Lightning. I can't wait to make videos on that. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.